worth more than sitting in an office waiting for hours for a doctor to see him. But when he found out that Cody would come to his ranch house to see him, he called on him every few weeks. Lately, Cody had been telling him that he needed to see a heart specialist.
I guess he'll see one now whether he wants to or not.
Cody slowed down another 5 miles per hour and leaned over the steering wheel to better see the road in front of him. Addie, Cody's nurse, would be glad that Max would be getting help. She'd been worried about him after the last 2 times they had been out to Max's ranch. Cody hit another slick spot and went sideways in the road for a few seconds before he got straightened out. He started to pull off to the side until his heart stopped pounding, but the smart thing was to keep moving ahead. He made it another 1/4 of a mile when a front tire hit a pothole and sent him into another greasy slide. He gripped the steering wheel so tightly that his knuckles ached, and he hoped that no one would need his doctor services again until the roads were clear.
And I thought a sandstorm was the most horrible thing in the world. Thank God you aren't here, Addie. I would never forgive myself if you got hurt and those twins didn't have a mother.
He thought of the twin boys his brother and Addie had adopted right after they got married. Sam and Taylor were only about 3 months old, and Cody loved them almost as much as if they were his own sons. He leaned forward as far as the seatbelt would allow, hoping to get a better view of the road up ahead.
It's only 20 miles to the ranch. Even at this rate, I should be there before bedtime. Talking to myself doesn't help, so why am I doing it?
The words had barely left his mouth when a buck with a huge rack of antlers jumped out right in front of his truck. Instinctively, his foot left the gas pedal and stomped the brake. The deer disappeared in a flash, but Cody's vehicle began to spin like a top, and there was nothing that he could do to stop the motion. The steering wheel had a mind of its own, and neither the brake nor the gas pedal had any effect on what was happening. Adrenaline raced through his body, and he covered his face with his arms, expecting his crew cab truck to hit one of the many potholes in the old country road and begin to roll. Then, Cody felt as if he was flying for a split second, and the truck landed with so much force that it jarred his teeth. For several seconds, he wasn't sure what had happened, but then he realized all the white stuff around him wasn't snow, but airbags. He fought them back away from his face and unfastened the seatbelt, only to fall forward nose down. He slung open the door and rolled out of the truck to land in several inches of snow. When his heart settled enough that he could breathe without panting, he pulled his phone from his hip pocket to call the ranch for help, only to realize that there was no service. He stood up, checked for blood or broken bones, and heaved a huge sigh of relief when he figured out that he was fine.
Thank you, God,
he said when he recognized an old mailbox. Just last week, he'd met Max at a barn about a 1/4 of a mile down the lane to check his blood pressure. Cody remembered Max's blood pressure being too high then and had told the octogenarian that he needed some tests done, but the old guy flat out refused.
They'll put me on some god-awful diet and tell me to exercise,
Matt had growled.
I'm going to eat what I want, and I get all the exercise I need right here on this ranch.
Cody visualized an old pot-bellied stove in the tack room where he'd done what he could for Max. He'd seen a pile of firewood in one of the stalls out in the barn, and there had been a bunch of kittens playing chase in the hay bales.
Maybe there will be phone service when I reach the barn,
he muttered as he opened the back door of the truck and grabbed his black doctor bag.
If there is, I can let the folks know where I am.
He pocketed his keys, zipped his coat to his chin, and turned his collar up. Then, bent against the driving north wind, blowing snow right in his face, he headed up the lane. He vowed that he would never leave home again without both a ski mask and a stocking hat, even if it was summertime and the thermometer registered over 100 degrees. At least his cowboy boots gave him protection from the snow. His nose and ears felt like popsicles by the time he made it to the barn. He was wearing gloves, but his hands were stiff, and he had trouble sliding the barn door open enough to get inside. Unfortunately, it wasn't any warmer than the outside.
But at least it's dry and out of the wind,
Cody told himself as he removed his cowboy hat and brushed snow from it on the way to the tack room.